Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings. I'm Kendall Richardson. Thanks so much for joining me for my review, my ramble, my rant about the final episode of What If Season 1. It's all coming together in this episode. Yes, where do I even start? Where does one start with this? Because for me, I enjoyed the episode, I liked it, but I don't think it kind of lived up to the hype train that I was on after the last week's episode, because I was like, yeah, let's go, this is going to be epic. And look, there were parts of it that were pretty epic. You know, I did enjoy a lot of the fight scenes, as I usually tend to do with this show. Like the the animation in the fight scenes is pretty fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to really begin. Like, I kind of liked that. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing because I was looking forward to seeing how the Watcher would go about recruiting everyone. And obviously last week we saw he starts with Doctor Strange Supreme, of course, and then this week it's like, okay, how's he going to get the rest of them? And it kind of felt a bit lazy that he's just going around to every universe and you've been chosen, like, you know. Well, it's fine, it works well enough. But it was nice to kind of see, as he's doing that, see where our heroes are at. So I love the fact that we get you know, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Peggy, you know, stealth suit, looking awesome, on the frickin' Lemurian star, doing that opening scene from Winter Soldier. I thought that was really cool. So we're there with her, and it's literally the same stuff because, you know, we're getting the cute moment with Natasha trying to hook her up with, in this it's Bernard in accounting instead of Lillian, which is quite funny. I kind of like that parallel. I thought it was nice. And then we go to T'Challa Star-Lord, his universe, where Ego has found Peter Quill and he's using his power to take over. And so they're in the middle of that battle when the Watcher's like, I'm taking you right now. And then after that, that's when we get our first look at the missing episode from this season, which is the Iron Man Gamora on Sakaar episode. Out of everything in this finale, that's the thing that pissed me off the most. Apparently, COVID, as it is wont to do, delayed production of What If. There was not enough time, apparently, to finish the 9th episode, what should have been the 9th episode, which was basically, I don't know what it would have been called, but what if Iron Man was on Sakaar instead of Thor, sort of thing. But yeah, apparently they didn't have time, and I've been saying to a lot of people, it's an animated show. It's all you're doing this whole thing on computers. Everyone's recording remotely. I don't know. Please, if any animators are watching this, not that you are, but if anyone knows any reasons as to why this episode was delayed because of the pandemic, I would love to know so I can feel less salty about it. That'd be great. Thank you. Comment below, please, and enlighten me, because I would love to not be annoyed about it, because it's kind of annoying. Because, like, I thought, because this is kind of what I expected this week's episode. It was going to be starting with the Gamora stuff. We're going to introduce her at the beginning in like the first 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to go deal with the Ultron stuff. You know, I thought it was going to be something like that, maybe. You know, we get a 40-minute episode. But no, that's not what happened. While the Watcher's going around and rounding everyone up, he just comes to... we're on fucking Nidavellir. I'm like, what's happening? Why are we here? And then we see an Infinity Gauntlet being lowered into molten rock so it can be disintegrated, so to be reformed. I don't know how. You know, Eitri's in the background, and you've got Gamora wearing the Thanos armor, holding the big blades. She's recently defeated him. We don't know how, but it's happened. Oh. And then we get a Tony Stark Iron Man in this like Iron Man, like Sicarian Hulkbuster kind of suit, which people may or may not be referring to it as the Trash Buster, because I think the leading theory is that it was when he landed on Sakaar, he used his wherewithal to assemble his own suit made from all various bits of garbage in those dumps where we see Thor in Ragnarok. So there's that. So I think what the missing episode's supposed to be is like at the end of the first Avengers movie, Tony Stark doesn't fall back through the portal in time and gets zoomed to Sakaar from there, where Gamora is a gladiator, you know, instead of the Hulk, essentially, if you're doing that storyline. And they fight each other in the arena. So, and then Thanos is involved somehow. Don't know. I'm very upset about it. But anyway, I'm looking forward to watching it because they have said they are going to work it into season 2, which is great because I'll get to see it, we'll get to see it, and then suddenly this will make a lot more sense, and then it'll be like when you do a what if rewatch, it's like watch episodes 1 through 8 and then watch season 2 episode whatever and then season 1 episode 9 just so you can get it all right, because it threw me for a loop. I was like, oh really? Okay, we've had characters introduced and like they've built the Infinity Crusher, which is this device that atomizes Infinity Stones, and supposedly Tony Stark has built that. We've missed all this stuff and it just sounds awesome. It's just annoying that we have to wait. So yeah, that's the thing that if you can't tell, that's the thing I'm the most upset about this episode, is the fact that we just didn't get a chance to have this story before this episode paid it off. So that's frustrating, but what are you gonna do? Another frustrating part is that we barely got any kind of touching on the cliffhanger with Killmonger, and with Pepper and Shuri on their way to stop him. Like, we get them running with all the troops behind them and all that stuff, and they're on their way to him. So, but then the Watcher intervenes and takes him away. So we get that. Oh god, what? And then Party Thor. This was the funniest one out of all the intros, and of course it was. For some reason, Uatu thinks that Party Thor is the best option for this, and I don't know if he's basing his choices on, who's gonna do the best job, or if it's like basing his choices on, because he talks about how in previous episodes he's talked about how he knows what will be and what's gonna happen and all of this, but he never foresaw Ultron happening, right? So I'm guessing he knows how it's all going to play out. So he needs all these characters for it to actually work correctly. So I'm guessing that's what it is. Because like Party Thor's like, he's very powerful, obviously, but, probably not the most supreme version of Thor in the multiverse, but that's okay. He's good for a laugh. And we get a laugh immediately because he's battling all these Ultron drones in Las Vegas when the Watcher's coming to recruit him, and the Watcher keeps trying to interrupt, and he has to tell Thor to basically shut up or stop, so he can be like, you have been chosen, blah blah blah. And that was quite funny. I like that. And yeah, and then and we get this lovely moment where like Doctor Strange Supreme has recreated out of Peggy's memories the pub from episode 1 where she and Steve were having their little date sort of thing. So that was really cool. And then we get a reference to Infinity War the same kind of Infinity Stone spiel that Wong and Doctor Strange give to Tony Stark, in that we get here with Doctor Strange narrating it and Uatu narrating it, the Watcher, I think. I'm blanking already, but we get it recreated here, and it's pretty cool. What else can I talk about? I kind of liked their bonding, like as brief as it was, little amounts of bonding that we got, and you know, them having their drinks and their toasts, and Doctor Strange making an awkward as hell speech that that T'Challa had to come in and save because he's so well spoken, of course, so well spoken. And then probably my favorite line of the episode happens, because Ultron rocks up, and Thor, like, you know, they've got a plan, they've got all this set up, you know, ready to go, and then Thor decides he's gonna just take Thanos on himself, because why not? Why not? And he fires up Mjolnir and launches himself at Ultron. He says, "Viva Las Vegas." And I lost it. Oh, it was brilliant. Like, I really want behind the scenes footage of Chris Hemsworth in the recording studio or wherever he was when he recorded this, just screaming that at the top of his lungs, like, over and over, please, like that. Mwah. Mwah. Yes, that would be great. I want that. Oh, I really like that. But yeah, now commences the fighting between our Guardians of the Multiverse, now assembled. Now they will fight Ultron. Yeah, and the fighting's great. Again, it's where this series really excels. The storytelling is generally pretty good, all over. You know, it's there are flaws. But the one thing that's always remained consistent in the show is that when the fighting scenes happen, the action's happening, the animation is on point. So we get a lot of really great sequences of animation as we watched our Guardians of the Multiverse battle against Ultron. I really loved the use of all the different versions of Mjolnir. There's like multiple Mjolnirs going on. Like, that was really cool. It's like, you guys missed Mjolnir, didn't you? Here, have 500 of them. I thought that was nice. We even get a call back to the lovely little sticky fingers moment from episode 2, where T'Challa and Yondu have their little thing to take down the Collector, and they do it, and T'Challa uses it here to steal the Soul Stone from Ultron. I thought that was pretty cool. Doctor Strange gives them all armor as well, which is interesting because I'm guessing Doctor Strange in like our main timeline, the MCU timeline, you know, maybe wasn't allowed to use this kind of magic, or wasn't powerful enough to sustain it, to protect everyone, because this would have come in handy pretty much every point in time before this. So yeah, I'm just going to put it down to it's a thing that only Doctor Strange Supreme can really pull off. And that also speaks to another kind of negative point of the episode, because as much as having all our characters come together, forming a team to take Ultron down is awesome, at the end of the day, brass tacks, if you really strip it down, Doctor Strange is really the only one there that kind of, you know, that wins, that beats Ultron. Like, if you didn't have him, none of them. But if you have him and maybe take out Killmonger, you take out T'Challa, you take out Thor, you're still going to win because you've got Doctor Strange. So he was very OP in this episode, and that's fine. But it was just very one-sided on, like, you know, yes, there's no Iron Team, but there really is an Iron Team in this episode. So yeah, kind of yay/nay on that. The only other two characters that make a difference in terms of the fighting against Ultron are Peggy and Nat. And this is another thing that annoyed me. When they finally get to Natasha and Ultron's world, they don't use the Zola arrow straight away. It takes them a few minutes before, after and a bunch of fighting before Natasha sees the arrow and goes, "Oh yeah, I've got that." So that annoyed me, because I'm like, if you just use this straight away, we're done, you know, it's over. But it did make for a really cool sequence when they did do it. Like, I love the kind of 1-2. Like, first off, I love the 1-2 of Peggy and Nat with their shields. You know, Peggy's got her shield, Natasha's got the Red Guardian shield, and they're using that to battle Ultron. I thought that was sweet, and it looked amazing. But the animation was, I think my favourite moment of animation in this episode was when, when the two of them are working together to fire the Zola arrow into Ultron. I thought it looked amazing. It looked really, really cool. But yeah, I was annoyed that, I don't know, the writing was a bit clumsy around executing that. But that's okay. It's okay. I still enjoyed it. I just had problems. Speaking of Doctor Strange being OP, he eats an energy blast that Ultron conjures up. Cool. Sure. I mean, he was eating galaxies last week, Ultron was, so I guess now we have Doctor Strange who can absorb this insane amount of power and be fine. That was interesting. I did like another kind of Infinity War reference with all of them. The way that, literally when I was watching it, made me think of it straight away. It's like when all of the Guardians are assembling around Ultron and using all their different abilities all at once to kind of hold him in place, hold him down, take him down. It was very reminiscent of the battle on Titan with the Avengers and the Guardians trying to, take the gauntlet from Thanos. That was cool. I like that kind of little reference there. I thought that was fun. And then the way that both the two time stones, because this Doctor Strange still has his Eye of Agamotto, he still has his time stone, so he's able to counter Ultron's time stone that he has in order to, prevent him doing what he was doing. But again, all that animation was very cool. And then we get a lovely circle shot. I thought was really cool. But you know what's funny? One of the things in this episode I didn't expect to be okay with, that you guys are probably going to be like, can't believe she's okay with this, but I totally understood the logic behind the Infinity Crusher only works with the stones from the universe in which it was created. I feel like that makes sense. From a sci-fi perspective, from a cosmic kind of perspective, a comic book perspective even, I feel like it makes a world of sense. And it's a good kind of, it's a good, like, I don't know, I think it's a good little writing thing to, like, create, just when you think it's going to be easy and done, like, they've put the crusher on top of him and they absorb the stones, but nothing happens. I just thought it was really, really great. It made a lot of sense, and a way to kind of add some extra conflict into the story of, like, oh, this easy way we thought we were going to win, not going to happen. So that's cool. It was threw a bit of unpredictability into the mix. I thought it was very clever. I like that a lot. What else? The Zola and Ultron scene was very reminiscent of Age of Ultron, when you have, there's that moment where Ultron is born, I believe, and that's when him and Jarvis start having their banter, and Ultron fights and defeats Jarvis. It just reminded me of that a little bit, how they were battling inside Ultron's body. That was very cool. And I was not surprised at all that Zola decided, well, I've got legs now. I have a body that's pretty powerful. I'm not going anywhere. So, and also not surprised, Killmonger betrayed them, used the Ultron tech at his disposal to create a new suit for him that could take the Infinity Stones. And so he had, for a brief shining moment, Killmonger had the Infinity Stones. So that was pretty cool, but not surprising at all. It's like, why would you even recruit him? He's a villain anyway. But again, like I said earlier, I think the Watcher knew this was going to happen. So then we're kind of left with Zola and Killmonger fighting each other at the end. And then Doctor Strange realizing, oh, okay, so we weren't supposed to destroy the stones or defeat Ultron. We're just supposed to separate them. And that's when he decides to encase the two of them inside this little pocket dimension that he will now watch over in his own little pocket dimension for, you know, the rest of his years, I suppose. So that's crazy because they're like literally fighting over the Infinity Stones, and they're just suspended in this universe now, separate from our own, from every other universe. I thought that was really, really cool. Like, oh yeah, that works, that makes sense. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, and then all the Guardians get sent back to where they were, right back pretty much. Peggy's like, I want my Avengers Endgame 1940s reunion ending, but that's not going to happen. So, but I really liked how we ended up getting not only Peggy going back to the Winter Soldier timeline, but we ended up getting a Natasha going back to a universe that didn't have one. So Natasha actually gets sent back to the universe we saw in episode 3, when, you know, the Avengers were all killed by Hank Pym, and Loki has taken over. And she gets thrown back in mid-battle, and it's so cool. It's basically kind of like the Battle of New York, except it's in the sky completely. It's on a helicarrier. She gets thrown in there. You see Cap, you see Iron Man, you see all our heroes trying to, well, not Iron Man, Cap, I don't know. Cap was there. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm getting mixed up. Yes, you see Cap because at the end of episode 3, he was in the ice and they just found him. And then you see Captain Marvel as well, because Nick Fury had just used the pager. So yeah, so you see those two. And then because this universe doesn't have a Natasha Romanoff, the Watcher is totally comfortable with, instead of sending her back to her world where she's the only person left, he lets her re-enter here, which is really cool. And then she immediately takes Loki down, which I thought was a bit of a stretch. But hey, it's fine. It's Natasha Romanoff. She's pretty badass. So she ends up, and I can't tell if she ends up killing Loki or just kind of disabling him in some way, because she ends up using the staff to, you know, turn his eyes black. So instead of his eyes going blue like you see in the first Avengers film, his eyes go black, and he just looked like he died, and I was like, I'm not okay with this. But yeah, so I don't know if he's dead or if he's what, really. But she stopped him, so helping them win the day, which is interesting. It's like, you've got Steve Rogers and Carol Danvers there, and it took Natasha Romanoff to do this? Anyway, it's fine. It was a cool ending. I liked it. It was a cool ending. And then we had a post-credit scene as well, which is cool. First post-credit scene, I think, for What If I'm not mistaken. And it's kind of implying that we have a Hydra Stomper Winter Soldier situation, because it turns out that on the Lemurian star, Batroc and his crew were after the Hydra Stomper. And according to Natasha, someone's still inside it, and it's heavily implied that someone is Steve Rogers. And Peggy gets all happy, and at first I was like, why are you getting excited about a corpse? He's clearly dead, like what? And then my brain later on is clicked. It's like, oh, okay, it's maybe a Winter Soldier situation. Because as far as we know, in episode 1, Steve had been, Steve was still around, like the suit was there, but it didn't have any power left in it. The power had all been drained away. But yeah, and then Peggy went through the portal opened by the Tesseract. So maybe the question is, did Steve Rogers' Hydra Stomper get confiscated by Hydra at some point? after that. We don't know. Maybe we'll find out next season. I doubt that they'd be setting that up for no payoff, but who knows. I don't know how much of season 2 will be connected to season 1 apart from the Gamora Iron Man episode on Sakaar. Don't know. We'll find out in a year or two whenever season 2 of What If is on Disney+. But yeah, I guess we've got, you know, a kind of Winter Soldier parallel about to happen, which is nice. I'm sure that will be very, very good. I don't think I have anything else to really mention. I think I'm kind of done. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. I just, for some reason, last week's episode was so epic. Like, it was so epic. I loved almost everything about it. I think it's now my second favorite episode, to be honest. I think it's like Doctor Strange, then Ultron 1, and then it's kind of like a tie between Party Thor and T'Challa Star-Lord now, as in terms of my top 4 episodes. But yeah, this one I was just like, no, it's good, but they didn't really do anything that kind of knocked my socks off this week, unfortunately, which is fine. It doesn't have to, but the writing was inconsistent, and yeah, it just wasn't as epic as I was expecting. I was so hyped after last week, so hyped, and then yeah, this week's episode just didn't quite stick the landing for me. But you know, it's totally fine. Because I still, like I said, I still enjoyed it. Like this, so it will about the quality of this show, which is overall really, really good. It's still a fun show to watch. It's still great to kind of dissect these episodes every week. It's great to really take a look at the what ifs. You know, the show is really, it's better than I expected it would be. I should finish this up by saying that. It really is. So I'm very happy that it broke my expectations in that way. Like, yeah, succeeded? Yeah, succeeded my expectations. I think that's the right word. I'm running out of words now. Yeah, so I'm glad it surpassed my expectations. Definitely did. Definitely. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see where season 2 will take us whenever we get that. Next year or the year after, who knows. And I cannot wait to see this Iron Man and Gamora on Sakaar episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. But I think I will end it there. Thank you guys so much, everyone that has watched these videos. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I'd probably be doing them even if you weren't watching, because I love talking about this stuff. I have a lot of fun. If there's anything I missed that you want my opinion on, please comment below. If I left anything out, comment. Like, share, subscribe to FREDtheALIEN Productions here on YouTube so you can catch all my Marvel related content as it comes. Hawkeye is just over a month away, so that's very exciting. I'll be doing many videos on Hawkeye. I cannot wait, especially because it's going to be 8 episodes instead of 6, which is awesome. But yeah, that's it. Go listen to me on a podcast called Fred. I'm on the monthly at Winifred's. I'm on Fred Watch. I'm everywhere with FREDtheALIEN Productions. So please go follow us on the socials. We're on everything. So yeah, that's it. Thank you again. Until next time, I've been a Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings.